Okay, first of all, I would like to apologize on behalf of all Americans that we are idiots. Some things about American culture are confusing and seem to make no sense. I'm going to answer your questions about American culture and let's see what you think about it. Yes, so there's a lot of drama for one. Girls are very dramatic during high school. It's like, oh, she's hanging out with him or she's hanging out with her and oh my gosh, like why? Like blah, 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 talking behind their backs. And also you got boyfriend, girlfriend drama. So she's with him one week and not with him the next week. And lots of drama there. A lot of people talk about it too. And another thing that's pretty accurate is the stereotypical friend groups. So you do got the nerds, there is the cool kids lunch table, the jocks, pretty popular girls, goths, the people who are emo, and then you have the the people who don't really fit into a group. I feel like there's those extreme groups. And then there's also like the mixed groups. So you'll have like a nerd who's friends with a popular girl or like the people who are kind of blended. But something I never saw was like, oh, you can't sit here. I never saw that. People really don't care. So in those moments, in those movies where they're like, oh, Bob, no, you can't sit there. No, I never saw that. I never saw that. I feel like everyone is in their own world. People don't really care about what you're doing, so you can do whatever you want. Maybe I'm saving the spot for someone else, but I'll tell you, but it's not because I don't accept you socially. I also got similar questions like, why do girls want plastic surgery? There's such a strong beauty standard, and I'm sure it's the same for your country. All over social media, you have these Instagram models who have the biggest lips, the biggest butt, the smallest nose, the strong jawline, the cheekbones. I mean, it's everything. Girls want that perfect body, and it's changing. You'll see it in the marketing that companies are starting to show people of different shapes and sizes, embracing different shapes and sizes, but it's still a problem. Girls are drilled with this idea that they have to look perfect in order to be socially accepted, which is ridiculous. No one has to be a certain size. No one has to be a certain shape. Your face doesn't have to be a certain shape for people to love you, because people will love you because of your heart and soul, not because of how you look. And if people just love you because of how you look, it's not real love. So no matter what you look like, you have to know, you have to value yourself. And that's another thing. Americans might seem really confident, especially girls might seem really confident, but inside they're constantly doubting themselves. I experienced this. I was under eating so that I could look skinny. And this was ridiculous and it was harming my health, which is why I'm so passionate about this. When a girl or a guy says, oh, I'm too fat, I'm gonna be on a diet. You don't look ugly. And we have to readjust our minds to be more accepting of that. So in terms of the lips though, I feel like this is an attention grabber for the guys. So women, for the girls that want big lips, I don't want big lips. But in my mind, what I'm thinking is that girls want big lips to get the attention of the guy. I disagree with it, but everyone's different. If you want to change your body, okay. But for me, I was raised with the idea that you should embrace how you look. I don't call myself ugly anymore. Thank goodness. I used to, but now I don't. And I wish more girls, more women specifically, were like that, because we have a problem about our appearance. And let me know if you agree in the comments. Do you look at the mirror and think that you're ugly? Do you think that you're beautiful? And just a reminder, if you think that you're not beautiful, you are. Whether you're a guy or a girl, you are Beautiful. I remember when I was getting out of high school, I decided to open up a LinkedIn account. And I was like, I have no idea if this is gonna help me at all, because I don't even know if anyone is out here on LinkedIn. I didn't know anything about LinkedIn other than people use it to get jobs. Same thing with Indeed. I didn't really use Indeed, but when I was looking for a job, I went on LinkedIn, I set up my profile, I really spent so much time on making it look impressive. I definitely could have done better, I really know that. But I started realizing that other people from my school were using it too, and those were the people who were more higher reaching, who were more of the smarter kids in my school. So I was like, oh, okay, I feel like my chances are good here. But in the end, that didn't even help me at all with getting the job that I have now. You never know. People are finding jobs is through LinkedIn, Indeed, and really just knowing people, building connections. And especially in college, since you network so much, you'll know people, you'll get recommended, and then you can apply. So the pandemic happened, right? And I didn't think of teaching at all. I was looking at local restaurants, I was looking at local grocery stores, looking at some places near to my house where I could work. And they don't pay much, pay like $11 to $15 an hour max. And I was applying to those places, and oddly enough, I kept on getting rejected or just no response. So I was worried. I was like, what am I going to do? My mom, my savior, she comes to the rescue. She says, okay, so you want to have a job? I know someone. My friend, her daughter is doing this. She's teaching English online. She's making good money. She went to college to be an engineer, and she doesn't like it anymore. And now she's teaching English as a foreign language. I was like, whoa, oh my gosh, let's try this. And so my mom sends me the link to get the certification. The other is the link to go on VIP Kid. And I'm so glad that I did not choose VIP Kid, because I realized that you're not allowed to make your own lesson plan on VIP Kid. They design the whole thing for you. You do the whole, like, they have the presentations and you just do it for them. And it's very strict. You have to do it in a certain way. And you have to be, like, timed on each slide. Ugh, no, I don't want that. And I did my certification. I was like, okay, this is gonna be okay. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I was like, I'm just doing it because I have to. And so I found Amazing Talker, and I didn't know that you could create your own curriculum. I didn't know that there was so much freedom, but when I found out, I was like, hallelujah, this is amazing, because I love putting my own twist on things. I love creating things. And I love teaching in my way, not someone else's way. So I love my job now. And I wake up with so much energy and so much passion. It's the best. I haven't stopped. I had no idea that it would grow to be this big either. I thought I was going to be a mediocre teacher, because there's so many other people with so much more experience. And in my first month, I got so many students. My mentor was really surprised. My mentor was like, wow, Hannah's great. Let's keep doing this. And wow, 1 year in, and I'm just amazed. If life hits you in the face, you never know if some huge opportunity is going to come out as a result of it, because I'm so blessed that happened. You know, for many people, the pandemic was a nightmare, but for me, it became this opportunity. And wow, geez, who'd have thought? Teaching was the last thing on my mind. Yeah, I asked this question myself, And I think it's because we're just so ambitious and we say go big or go home, meaning you're all in. It's all or nothing. Especially right now during the holidays, I'm eating more. There's so much more pastries, cookies, and chocolate on the shelves, and it's just so tempting. Really, it's about making money. When you think about all the junk food companies, sugary cereals, they make money because it's all about addiction. Once a company sees that a consumer is hooked on a product, that's when you pump that out into advertising. So you'll see junk food advertising left and right, Coca-Cola, cereals and candy and all of that junk food and greasy food. I mean, fried chicken and fried this and McDonald's, and it makes it look so nice and appealing, but really it's just making us into fat people. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that companies don't care about. They just care about making money. If you're hooked on our product, we're making money from it, and if you're getting the negative effects of it, that's kind of your problem, which is very heartless. I do my best to be as mindful as possible. Do I need that cookie though? Do I need that? It looks so good, but do I? So where I live, it doesn't snow at all. So as much as I'd like to say that kids go out, play in the snow, make snowmen, and throw snowballs, that doesn't happen here. So from my experience, what people usually do is just travel a whole lot or stay at home or shop. So I stay at home so much and I go shopping a lot. And actually yesterday I got this by shopping, because this is the season where shopping is getting more and more intense. You'll see the stores start to fill up so much more. They'll buy presents for all the friends. So all the friends buy at least something small. And for me, I gotta make sure that I have all the presents for my family. It's a little challenging, especially when it comes to those extended friends and family. It's like, what do you want? I don't really know what to get you. Other than that, like, watch Christmas movies on Netflix. That is like the number one thing. That actually yesterday I watched a Christmas movie called Spirited. You probably saw it on my Instagram story, and it was funny. I loved it. Oh, Hallmark movies too. If you go up and search Hallmark movies, they are like the cheesiest, quirkiest, and the most corny romantic Christmas movies. Those are what girls watch for sure. In terms of what guys do during the holidays, I don't think they make it any more special. I think they're just like, it's okay. Just act like everything's normal. Maybe hang out with the family a little bit more. Maybe go shopping. Maybe like buy some more clothes. Perhaps. Everyone's different, but I do know that girls love watching Netflix movies, Christmas movies. Get the hot cocoa, get that snuggy little blanket, curl up, and just watch some shows or some movies. Christmas related has to be. Oh, and we bump up that Christmas music. So Mariah Carey is the first thing that comes on like beginning of November, and you'll just see social media flooded with Mariah Carey because that's like the number one Christmas hit. Right, so I was pretty confused by this too. We usually go for 15%. Or 15% is usually what people go for. And I believe it balances in between 12% and like 17%. Based on my experience, we usually go for 15% if the waiter was pretty good, like pretty decent. If they were horrible, we would just put down maybe 10%. And but then again, it's about how they see you too. So if you put down $0 for a tip, they're going to be like, wow, insulted. And that means you didn't appreciate the work that they did. Given the fact that waitresses get paid so little, it's actually pretty ridiculous. But I went to this one restaurant where all of the tips get collected together and then they get split evenly among all of the waiters. So even if you think that your waiter was phenomenal, was amazing, if you give him that money, it's still going to be evenly spread out between all of them. So they aren't going to get so much more since it's being averaged, which I don't really know how I feel about that. I mean, I see how it's beneficial, but I also see how it's not encouraging people to try harder. It's pretty ridiculous how the waiters are paid. They're on their feet all day. Like, come on. Are you kidding? Nowadays, all you got to do is scan the receipt and it'll bring you to the website and you can choose what amount you want to choose, what amount you want to put down. So you don't even have to calculate anything. It'll say like 10%, 15%, or custom amount. And I usually just click the 15%. Be considerate to letting them know that you don't hate the waiter. You care about what they do. It's about consideration. This is definitely a problem. I mean, in my view, it's a problem because I feel like morals are getting lost. I feel like girls, guys are just getting into relationships without thinking about it seriously. They get into the heat of the moment and they get too excited and other things happen. And I also feel like Americans don't like commitment. They don't like being locked into a situation or a decision. So marriage is like official. A marriage is a done deal. And Americans don't like the compromise with that, which I disagree with. I feel like marriage is a beautiful thing. I don't even know if I'm gonna get married, but if I'm not gonna get married, I'm not gonna have kids with some random guy, right? If I do have kids with someone, I'm going to marry them first. I have to know that person, but a lot of Americans aren't this way. A lot of Americans just say, oh my gosh, I love him so much, and oh, he's so nice, so funny. But like, really, do you know him? Do you know the person? Do you know their family? And I'm glad that my mom taught me this. Dude, stop licking your butt. Starting a family with someone is so serious. And why would you want to put yourself in that kind of situation? Luckily, in high school, I didn't see anyone get pregnant, but that's because I didn't go to high school in my last 2 years. But I've definitely heard other people's experiences where kids got pregnant with kids. You know, a kid has a kid with someone else, which I don't like. Why would you do that? This one is good. Okay, first of all, I would like to apologize on behalf of all Americans that we are idiots. I can tell you that I experienced the same thing. Before I started teaching, now it's different, thankfully. But before I started teaching, I could not even tell you the difference in the characters. I couldn't, if you showed me Korean writing versus Chinese writing and Japanese writing, I couldn't tell you what was what. I would probably say like, oh, it's all the same language, right? So that's number one. Number two, yeah, I couldn't tell you the difference between a Korean and a Chinese and a Japanese. I couldn't tell you. Now I'm getting used to it. Like I can definitely tell the difference between a Korean and a Chinese. That's like obvious for me. And I can't really tell the difference between a Japanese and a Korean though. They still most of the time look similar for me. But really, what it comes down to is a lack of education. I've seen videos where they show a world map. They say, label these countries. And we can't tell you. Now, some of them overlap because the world is blending. The world is becoming more multicultural all over. So that is contributing to the problem as well. And here in Houston, there's people from everywhere. So we don't really take the time to ask, where are you from? Like, what's your background? We don't investigate those sort of things. And we Americans don't learn other languages. A lot of Americans are very comfortable with just knowing English. And you might, like, an American might take a Spanish class, might take a French class, but aside from that, there's not a lot of Americans that I know that are willing to spend time to learn other languages other than English and maybe a little bit of Spanish. It's a problem, especially with COVID. I know it was a problem because one of my students from Korea told me that they were discriminated because of some American thinking that they brought COVID to the United States, which is so ridiculous. Like, why? So this is something that I don't like about America, is that Americans just throw hate to people that they don't even understand their story. They don't even know anything about that other person, and they're throwing hate. Like, why? Why? Give a like if you thought this video was interesting, and comment below if you want to learn more about American culture. I might answer your question in the next video. Keep improving your listening by watching this next video. 下次见!